Hello and welcome to Connect, the weekly podcast of the California MBA featuring one-on-one interviews with movers and shakers in the mortgage industry. I'm very happy that you could join us today. I'm Susan Milazzo. I run the California MBA. Before I welcome today's guest, I'd like to thank our 2025 President's Council sponsors. And these are companies that provide a tremendous amount of financial support annually to the California MBA, in large part so that we can continue to be that strong voice for the real estate finance industry before the California State Legislature and our regulators. So please join me in thanking our 2025 President's Council sponsors. And those companies are AmeriHome, Consolidated Analytics, Funding Shield, Guild Mortgage, Rocket Mortgage, Wiener Brodsky Kiter, and Western Alliance Bank. Thank you all so much for your support this year. We really appreciate it. And with that, I'd like to welcome an old friend, Daniel Ceniceros, who is founder and CEO of Connect Media, onto the Connect podcast. Daniel, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Susan. It's great to be back.
I
love being on Connect with Connect. So
Connect
it's perfect.
With Connect. We were just reminiscing about how many years Daniel and I go back, and it's been a great ride. And through the various companies, you've always been stayed connected with the California MBA, and we really appreciate that. We're kicking Western States CREF Conference this year, which is happening September 3rd through the 5th in Vegas, off with a session on how to promote your company in today's environment. And of course, this is an area of expertise for you and your company. What innovative marketing techniques should folks be thinking about to get their name out there in today's environment?
Well, I'm going to take it. It's a great question, but I'm going to take it from two lenses. Obviously, we have our news division, so we're informing the industry with our news. And then we also have our creative services division, where we really focus on helping people elevate their brand, right? And so we're always taking it. We know what people read, and then at the same time, we help them elevate and create content and with the assets with Connect Creative. So when you focus on those part of it, obviously the big techniques, that people are, this is, it's a relationship market we're in, right? It's a very, very much relationship market. So we try to tell our clients and, tell our customers and clients and everybody that reads us, you want to elevate right now. You want to be in the room and in the right room. So it's, there's the shotgun approach where everybody, tries to just put their name on every billboard and everything they can possibly, that's obviously not, it's a little bit of, putting it out there. But what we're trying to focus on is really think about it more as your relationships, and more on the fact that, trying to make more of a very targeted approach. And so there's different techniques that you can really focus on, but I just think, something as easy as being at this event in Las Vegas, September 3rd through the 5th, being in the room with those, making sure that that you're definitely walking up to people and saying hello to everybody. And really just, I think it's all about relationships. I think this economy we're in right now is all about relationships and really affirming relationships, because you got to make sure that things get done. And you got to make sure that those relationships really drive those things. And you can count on the people that have been there for you. So we're very focused on building relationships, starting new relationships, but very focused, not as a peanut butter spread. We're really targeted with our clients right now.
Yeah. It is interesting. It truly is a relationship business, right? It's a pretty close industry when you think about it. There's so many connections across the industry. And I think that relationship, the focus on the relationship is important in any market, but especially in a challenging market environment. What are some of the innovative things Connect is doing as a company in this challenging market?
Well, the thing, one of the things that our industry has caught up to was the thing that was really worked on was obviously SEO, search engine optimization. That's something that people really want to show up in search, right? And it's a big initiative. So now people have started to get into social media. It's important to reaffirm that brand with retargeting or different aspects of advertising marketing through social media. But I think about it what's the biggest buzzword that we know right now? It's AI, right? So everybody's talking about AI. How is AI marketing? Well, there's the usage part, which help me write this paper, help me write this email, let me do some searches. SEO, I mean, it's a huge number. It's like 80, over 80%, like between 80 and 85% of the searches are done still through Google. So SEO is very, very important. I mean, it's like, I think the number is like between 20 and 25 billion searches per day. Just think about it in that sense. Like that's tons and tons of searches. So it, but that's searching, right? Inside the SEO world of AI, that's more of a search everywhere optimization. And so you used to put your company name in there. In AI, you're asking questions. What's, what's the top company for, what's the top mortgage broker company in Denver? You're starting to talk about that. It's a lot more of this how-to questions. So search was, tell me about where's this company? This is now how to with the AI aspect of it. And so some of the things that we're doing different is really starting to create more of this how to, it's called service journalism, where it's more of the how to approach. Exactly. Like, how did this get done? How do I do this? How do you become a better broker? All these different things that come up. How do you how do you close an agency loan? I mean, little things that are just tidbits that you wouldn't think, but the AI crawlers are crawling everything now. I know that that's scary when I say that. Everybody's like, "Wow, they're taking our data." They're not. We have hundreds of thousands of AI bots that are crawling our websites, our apartmentbuildings.com website for our listings, all of our stories. We have 100,000 plus stories on Connect. Those are posts. They're crawling them, but they're searching them. They're not stealing them. They're not stealing them. So it's a little bit of a difference than the thought process, but we're really focused, I think, on creating content that's really AI searchable and really comes up. And that is, there's a little bit different. It used to be search and now there's seeking. And so seeking is a little bit different than searching. It's a little bit deeper. Now you're asking full questions. And so, and that really just changes that lens of the kind of content that you have on your website. And it's really changed our content. You'll see a lot of things that we're doing is really focused on more how to service journalism.
It's gosh, just the presence of AI in all of our aspects, I mean, of our lives really, but in business especially is just fascinating to me. I mean, and how that's kind of morphing what you've done for years to help companies be successful and kind of get themselves out there, how that's, you have to kind of tweak that to kind of provide the content that you're talking about so that it can be searchable and kind of, have your company name pop up in different ways for different reasons.
I think the important part is that people always think about it in two different ways. We think about it as a resource. I don't. I mean, we had obvious two paths to go with AI with all the content that we have. We could have done it for our forward-facing clients and our readers. We decided not to go that way and have like a whole search engine. We decided to go in the background with a lot of how we tag our stories, how we do photo resizing, how we have research assistants. We decided to take all of our content and build out agents so we can have our team streamline a better work environment. And this isn't to replace, it's really just to really focus on some of the things to help our team be more innovative, spend more time with the writing, more time with quotes, more time with different parts of it. Also taking it within our clients, just talk about what are some of those top stories that are our clients when we're creating, thought leadership pieces for them, blog posts, when we're doing social media posts. Like we decided to create, to be internal with it versus external. External will come, but right now we're very focused on those parts of and it's all happening pretty quick. When we're talking, we said go, and it's weeks. Some of this stuff has been developed in weeks, so it's not. It's it takes a lot of research to find out where you need those resources, but that's our focus with being with Connect Creative. We know that that's the next frontier, right? Is the AI part of it. So we have to guide our clients. Our clients come to us. host their website, we build their website, we build their CRM, we do all these different things with Connect Creative. The next part is, how can AI help me? And it's not a peanut butter spread. You can't just say, here, buy this out of the box. You have to say, well, what are you trying to accomplish? And for ours, it was little things like photo resizing. It was, little things like tagging so it gets categorized right. Just little things that help speed the day up and create
Yeah.
the most precious thing is time, right?
And of course, your clients look to you for that expertise because, like you say, it's all happening very fast. They don't really know they need to do it. They don't know how to do it. And so that's a great service that you provide to help your clients be successful. So let's do a little check-in on the market. Mid-year 2025, how's the CRE market looking in general at this time?
So we talked about being friends for a long time. So this is like my fourth slowdown period.
Yeah.
So I used to hear that, when people would talk about that. And so, it's different. There's a lot of uncertainty out there. But there are people that, we have a nice spectrum of clients and across the board from, developers, all the different property types and all the different facets. And we're pretty well diverse. So I get a really good lens in it. And I would say, I feel there it's a lot harder to get things done in today's market. And that's why I believe that relationships are so important. And building on those relationships. So you have to find those, we're working with our clients to really try to focus to, like I said, enhance those relationships. But at the same time, I think I feel there's a lot of people working really hard to get things done, and there is some success out there, and we do see transactions happening. It's just, some people start their pipelines off with, maybe 20 deals that they're trying to close over this next month, and they count that 4 get done. 3, but they're still putting 20 up on the board to try to bust their ass and get it done, right? I
Yeah.
always say for us, we follow that too, right? We have to follow that same exact way. So we're doing the same exact thing. I feel like I say this quite a bit now. I feel like that duck where I'm just like nice and calm and cool above the water, but I'm kicking like hell underneath the water. Just my feet are just going like crazy. And so I think our clients are going the same exact way. And I think, and there's general fill out there, like I said, for people to help each other. But yeah, it's a tough market.
Yeah, still a tough market. We've definitely seen some slowdowns over the years, and we're in one now. But industry always seems to bounce back at some point. That brings me to back to kind of our Western States CREF Conference. We're thrilled to have Connect CRE back at Western State CREF. Thank you so much for your continued support for the conference. We're going to be talking about some of these, markets, construction lending, bridge lending, permanent financing, viewed from the C-suite. What are the kind of leaders in the industry looking at right now? So, you longtime veteran of Western States CREF, what should people do to get the most out of this conference if they're attending?
I would tell you, like I said earlier, be in the room. I talk about this with all of our team. There's not there's just under 50 people at Connect, and every one of them wears a business development hat. They all have to think, how do we drive business? And so you have to put yourself in the right rooms, and Craft is the right room. I went to a dinner with you and the board, and we have been helping Slat all year long. I've you know, every year I've gone there and put myself and walked up to people, shook their hand, and went up to new people that I didn't know and introduced myself. Got my 2-minute elevator speech down, because you've got 2 minutes because everybody's running around like crazy and have meetings and meetings. So you can get it down to a minute, get it down to a minute. But really make sure that you walk around, you shake everybody's hand, you say hello to everybody. You don't just stand there and wait for people to come to you. It's a great group. Like I said, we're all trying to bust our ass to get deals done. And so they understand and they're respectful. And I believe that, just walk around and meet everybody, shake everybody's hand, put yourself in a position to build a relationship and get more business and do business.
And I think this group is really, it's very friendly. So if you're listening to this podcast and you might be a first time, or maybe you've only been to Western States CREF once or twice, I find, and Daniel, you can weigh in on this too. I mean, I find that the veterans in this industry are happy when they're like, yeah, I want to meet somebody new. I want to, if I can answer a question or if I can be a resource. I think that, it's that saying, the tide rises all ships, and it's, they're willing to help you. So I think that that's great advice to kind of, put yourself out there, make sure you meet, several new people and come back with some great new connections to, should grow your business in the coming year.
I think the key factor, what you said about this group, all the way down from when Pete Gessert was at Union Bank, every time I've ever asked for help from this group, there's been, the whole group goes running. I have a great relationship with Gary, who's incoming president, chairman, and all the different parts, all the relationships going down from the Tom Whitesvilles to, everybody that I would know around this group. The one thing, ask for help, introduce yourself, and they'll come running. And even if you're just an acquaintance, go say hi to each person. It's one of the events that I'm still very old school with. We still will put, we have our apartments event a couple weeks after, and we'll put flyers on every chair. I don't do that anywhere. We just go. It's a group that just is accepting. So I would say, indulge in every networking break hour to meet people.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I will see you in just a couple of weeks in Vegas for Western States CREF. If you haven't yet registered, there's still time. Go to wscref.com and register today, and we will see you in Vegas. Daniel, thank you for being on Connect. It's been great.
Love it. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks.
And thanks to all of you for joining us today. To access any of our past episodes, you can follow us on our YouTube channel, or we're available on SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. That's it for this week, and we'll see you next time on Connect.